Hello, greetings. This is Gilles Monsieur. I wanted to come and say hello. I wanted to pull a few cards. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to pull a few cards to see an oracle for today. It is from a Chinese deck. It's a very gentle deck. I don't use it very often. I'm going to pull out 10 cards and see what the oracles may be for these coming times. For it is a good time, no matter what the oracle says. We have chosen joy and happiness to be the center of our experience, and so it is the Knight of Stave. It is somebody that's well established within his knowledge and has a great deal of authority. So there is an increase in the promotion, so to speak, in terms of universe responsibility that is given. What we need to be careful is the Five of Swords. It's old swords that can come back to haunt us from the past. We do not want to let ourselves to fight against our past self. So we want to forgive ourselves. We want to let go and integrate the future. But if something negative comes from the past, it is to be loved and integrated. If you fight against yourself on that level, you will not. The things will reappear again and again. And so it is important to forgive yourself and to move forward. What we see before us is the King of Coins. It is the master of harvest and prosperity and abundance. It is the well administration of the kingdom. What we see in our unconscious, our subconscious, the distant past, is the Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups is traditionally the reunion in joy, but here it is about fading memory. It is memory that are fading away. So it is okay to let go of the old memory. New memories will re-emerge when it is a time for them to re-emerge. And right now we are on the Heavenly Master, so that we are integrating a great deal of wisdom. We have to seek out guidance from the masters from above. We always want to be taught, to be led, and we want to continue this education. Education should be a mandatory from the cradle to the grave. Every day we should learn something. It is not about forcing anybody to do anything, but we need to educate ourselves, continue to grow. Philosophy is just as good for young people as it is for old people. It is good for everyone. We'll speak a bit of philosophy afterwards. The Two of Swords, then in the immediate future, we have the Two of Swords. So here it is quite gracious. It is the ability to have opposing ideas that are not contradicting themselves. They're moving in the same flow, so they are the state of peace. It's accepting the state of peace as a permanent state as well. Who we are and our strengths in this situation is the star, for we are the star. It is the Lao Tzu here, the master. It is grace, it is wisdom, it is fulfillment, it is the power, it is the connection to there is the deer, which is the gentle aspect of self, and there is those beautiful birds that are flying in the sky. He's got all kinds of knowledge, and so there is a great deal of empowerment that is coming with this coming week, and it's even accentuated by what's coming to us from the outside world. Here it is the Ace of Staff, and the Ace of Staff is the power of creation, it's the power of the light, it's the power of love, it is the fire of the soul, it is enlightenment. Here it is somebody that has made his way all the way back into that empowerment, and yet has remained humble. But what we see in our inner emotion, which is our hopes and fear, is the moon. It means there is not a great deal of clarity in relationship to the big picture. We are being blinded by this reflection of the moon, and so the moon is our emotion. We have to deal with our emotion. We have to accept, to face our fear in order to become stronger, to grow more, and it is a process. And the key and the outcome is none other than the wheel of fortune. The wheel of great time, the wheel of fortune. Here there is the dragon, there is the phoenix, the tiger, and the turtle that are turning around this wheel. So it is about the card of miracle, the unexpected. Anything is possible. So we may chance to receive the great blessing this coming days and weeks, and so it is important to prepare ourselves as much as possible and not to worry about the past, to not let that interfere with the potential to receive all the joy and all the things we seek. The more we focus and know that what we seek we deserve and we can receive, the faster it will come to us from the universe. As we develop our trust and faith, there is invisible power that are that are working with us and for us. I wanted to speak very briefly of some philosophers, the Presocratic. That means essentially the before Socrates, 5th century BC. And so this one that I came across was named Anaxagore. And he knew infinity already. He knew that everything was in everything, that infinity was in all things. Small creatures, big creatures, the sky, everything was made of infinity. And so the Presocratics are Thalès, Anaximandre, Anaximède, Parménide, Pythagore, Héraclite, Empédocle, Anaxagore, Démocrite, Xenophon, Zénon d'Élée for the main ones. And on the same century, 6th century BC, there was a great deal of philosophers like Buddha, Lao Tzu, Confucius, Sang Tzu, were also but they were the knowledge didn't transfer from those Eastern philosophers to those Western philosophers. Heraclite was quite wise. He saw that everything was flow, and he saw that men were gods that were mortal gods. Men were mortal gods, and gods were immortal men. So he knew that everything was just a matter of knowledge and wisdom, as the Socrates know yourself. Socrates knew that his only knowledge was he did not know himself, he didn't know anything, and that was his knowledge, and that made him wise. But in many sense, we want to reconcile Plato, the world of ideas, with Aristotle, the sense of practicality. And in many sense, so there is also a great deal of difference in the understanding of philosophical understanding as far as science when it comes to the Presocratic in the Occident, that were for them being and non-being. What was being was all that was, and non-being was all that was not. So in many sense, what they call non-being, the Buddha called the absolute non-existence, the sphere of absolute non-existence. It is a sphere. If God has put things in there, it is impenetrable. It will never exist, has never existed. If God put them in there, it's to make sure that they'll never exist. So you don't have to worry about this sphere. It is absolutely the sphere of absolute non-existence. When I first started my journey on the spiritual path, I was faced with this fear, and I was afraid to fall into it and disappear. This was a fear that made the experience vanish from me, and I learned a lot from that experience. But in many sense, so the Greeks thought that being and non-being were that, but in Buddhist and Taoist tradition, being is the material aspect of life, and non-being is the invisible aspect of life. God being the absolute non-being. And so they have a different, because essentially most of their philosophy is kind of funny to be able to resume it. Of course, it is more than that, but Parménide thought that all is one and indivisible. And that is always will be eternally true. Heraclite thought that all is flow, everything is in motion, and that will eternally be true. Anaxagore thought that all was infinite, which everything is. The infinity is the only reality, that is the eternal reality of what is going on. Everything is temporal through that. After that, Plato thought that all was thoughts. Moses thought that all was law. Jesus thought that all was love. Marx thought that all was money. Freud thought that all was sex. And Einstein thought that all was relative. Of course, there was more. There was Thoth or Saint-Germain that thought everything is symbol, and symbol hides higher truth. For in truth, we are all that is truth and life. It is the life and truth of God, and that can never be anything else. For God can never be separated, has never been separated from any of His creation. It is just the separation was created for expansion purposes. But now we know that with the reconnection becomes a necessity to reconnect to this infinite sphere of love, light, and wisdom. And that's always been there. We have to find a way to reconnect within ourselves, to accept that, to be educated as a child of the universe. Well, I hope this message was interesting for you. Behind me is a painting, an astrological self-portrait, and there is all kind of small planets that have a powerful energy that can interact with, use for our evolution. For once we move into higher consciousness, we can use the planets for our self-empowerment. We'll draw in the energy we need when we need it, and this is coming. For we are opening ourselves to new level with this galactic new year in a couple of days. I hope you have a good. I probably will return, but there is on the 25th there is the last day, the day out of time, and the 26th is the galactic new year, and the energy will be very intense all the way till August 8, 9, 10 even, with the Lion's Gate, where the galactic sun and our suns will be aligned. So it's going to be every year. It's a monumental event. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to finish with a song. It's an old song. It goes like this. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dream that you dare to dream ready to come true. Someday I wish upon a star and wakes up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. Birds fly over the rainbow wide, and oh, why can't I? If happy little birds fly over the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I? Well, thank you very much. Sorry, I missed the words. But in essence, this song is very important for us as humans. First, we learn to flip on our side, and then we learn to crawl. Then eventually we learn to stand up. Then eventually we learn to walk. Then eventually we learn to run, and soon we may even have to learn to fly. So that will be a new step in human evolution. Or we start from the ground, though. But I thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed this video. I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later. Namaste.